yo, we've got a Red Roof Inn problem. I don't know if you've ever stayed at one. They're one of the largest budget hotel chains in the States. And it now appears that they have a horrifying secret. An estimated 80% of all sex trafficking actually takes place at hotels, in some chains more than others. And while Red Roof Inns do not directly engage in sex trafficking, they do knowingly profit off of the crime on a grand scale. That, at least according to now 42 federal lawsuits currently underway against the chain and its franchises, as well as hundreds more that are soon to be filed. With an investigation by The Independent finding these across 39 states and at least 115 Red Roof Inn hotels. With us also seeing an attorney who represents nearly 1,000 victims telling the outlet that he estimates the true number of victims to be in the many thousands, adding that sex trafficking has reached an epidemic level across the hotel chain. In fact, these lawsuits claim that the trafficking was so obvious that hotel staff couldn't possibly have missed it, with an expert witness even testifying. If girls and women are being trafficked at a hotel, you will see the malnourished body, the way that they are dressed, the demeanor in which they walk, the lack of eye contact, the inability to have their own voice and speak without permission. To be frank, you'd be quite ignorant if you didn't see it. And with that, you see things like a victim by the name of Tiffany testifying in one trial. We had to take customers morning, lunch, dinner, midnight, after club hours. It was just around the clock. We had to make a quota of a minimum $1,000 a day if we wanted to eat. And saying if she refused to see a customer or disobeyed him, she was then choked or beaten, which as other victims explained, wasn't exactly hush-hush. Right? You had examples like a woman named Melissa describing how housekeeping staff came each morning to remove garbage cans filled with condoms and bloody towels. Also another victim saying employees witnessed her trafficker being frequently violent with her and loud sounds of abuse could often be heard from the room. With yet another alleging staff actually witnessed her physically and verbally being abused by her captors in public areas of the hotel. And then just confirming how widespread this was, a woman by the name of Alexa said that her pimp chose the Red Roof Inn because of its, quote, lax attitude towards what was going on. Hell, I mean, one lawsuit in Atlanta claimed that anyone who set foot on 2 Red Roof Inn properties witnessed an open-air prostitution market. But then even if employees didn't notice it, the customers certainly did. With The Independent analyzing customer reviews and finding mentions of prostitution at 176 properties. And this is employees did notice, even though they weren't trained to identify the sign. With, for example, a former night manager telling the outlet that he witnessed sex work, if not sex trafficking, at 3 locations where he worked, saying, quote, it's heads in beds. They want every door sold. They don't care how you do it. Your manager has that pressure of having to do that consistently. So if you can get prostitutes and drug dealers to come in there and keep them in order, you're selling out. Numerous former employees testifying that they passed their concerns on to their managers, including Jay Moyer, former regional vice president of operations. Yet he also joked in one email about a vending machine being introduced to one of the properties, writing that, quote, my pimps and hoes love them some snacks to go with their smokes. And another former employee testifying that Moyer told him to book suspected sex workers in the back of the hotel where they'd be less visible to other guests. And y'all, the knowledge that all of this was going down apparently went to the fucking top. Because in 2015, a former board member of an international anti-trafficking organization reportedly called Red Roof Inn's president, Andy Alexander, and told him, hey, there's a known sex trafficker trafficking women at one of your hotels. So with all this, you have Red Roof Inn denying any wrongdoing, arguing that it's taken steps to prevent criminal activity and they couldn't reasonably be expected to spot a crime that is by its nature hidden from view. And so for now, I'll let you be the judge of the situation, though I do want to note that while Red Roof Inn is dealing with an exceptionally large number of allegations, they are certainly not alone. Right? Dozens of other lawsuits have been filed over the past decade against most major franchises, including Wyndham and Choice, with the attorney for 1,000 clients telling The Independent, the industry has stuck their head in the sand for a very, very long time. They knew that this was going to come. At conferences way before any cases were filed, they were alluding to the fact that they might one day actually have to take responsibility for what's going on in these hotels. And going on to say one of the big hotel chains will end up going bankrupt as a result of this litigation, and they deserve way worse.